This is Histories and Mysteries. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jessica. And on this week's episode, Ashley is going to be talking about the Chupacabra, and I am going to be talking about Howard Carter.
Ooh, I've never heard of Howard Carter. And then I asked Jessica who it was, and she was like, he found King Tut, duh. And I was like, wow, sorry, I don't know.
But more importantly, my autocorrect changed it to King Tit. So
Which we both decided we liked even better.
Oh yeah. Best autocorrect ever.
I wish his name was King. But you know what makes me laugh is with as much into Egypt as you are, and the fact that we have talked about King Tut before, your autocorrect still says that you use the word tit more.
And which is funny because I never use tit. It's always like boob or boobies, or like, like I don't use tit.
You're not out there like, let me show you my tit.
No, I'm not like as much as I swear, I'm not a vulgar person.
Yeah.
And one of my really good friends, she's so vulgar when she talks about like her sex life, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't need the vulgarity. I don't know. I don't like vulgar. But like, ironic because my mummy poster is back here.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Egypt museum shirt on.
I love it.
From New York when we were there. And my dad had The Mummy on TV when I got home from work today.
Cute.
And I had Evie watching it with me. Oh, hi, Nimmy.
I have a chupacabra on the back of my chair.
Hi, Nim.
She loves to sit back there. Even when I'm like doing work and stuff, she'll sit back there.
She just like showed up.
Yeah, she just jumped up there. Oh, and there goes my camera.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so I got my stuff from Wikipedia. All that's interesting.
Ooh,
yeah, so suck on that. And Reddit. So
one credible source out of 3.
Okay, but like it's the Chupacabra. We're not doing like scientific papers here. I think Wikipedia is fine.
If you say so.
So the Chupacabra, or literally goat sucker, in Spanish, that's what it translates to. I guess chupar is to suck, and cabras are goats, so it literally means goat sucker.
That's disgusting.
Yes.
I don't know why. That's just disgusting.
I did not like it either. It is a legendary creature in parts of America, more significantly in Puerto Rico, with the first sighting in 1995.
Oh, 2 years after my birthday.
You're such a baby. I remember 93. Anyway, so the animal name reportedly comes from its vampirism. The chupacabra is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock, including goats. And the creature's physical description varies. Some describe it as reptilian and alien-like. This is more often found in Puerto Rico and Latin America. And others describe it as a heavy creature the size of a small bear with a row of spines running from the neck to the base of the tail.
I feel really dumb. I thought, okay, you've seen Encanto, right?
Yeah.
You know those little, that little guy that was just like sitting in Bruno's vision circle in Antonio's room? For some reason, I thought that little creature was a chupacabra.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, that's a oh gosh, what are they called? They're like super happy little animals that have no natural predators.
No, it's not that guy. That's Australia.
Yeah. No, that's not who you're talking about.
No. Little creature in Bruno's vision circle. A capybara.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They're like super friendly. They don't have any like predators. You can take pictures with them and
Hmm.
stuff. They're really cute.
But I thought, oh, okay. No, I'm thinking about something else then. Because they're like the ones that are always smiling.
Yeah.
No, this isn't the one. This
Oh.
looks like a beaver.
Yeah, that's what the little smiley ones look like.
No, those are the quokkas.
Oh.
Yeah, the quokkas. They're the
Oh
super
yeah.
smiley ones.
Okay.
And they like throw their children at prey, or sorry, at predators and run away. They
I
just
mean,
yeet their
sometimes
babies.
sometimes no, I'm kidding. Okay. I looked up the one you were talking about. They look like they're done with all your shit. That's what they look
Yeah,
like.
exactly. And
Okay.
the one I love that I got that answer though, just by putting little creature in Bruno's vision circle.
That's
Love
awesome.
it.
Yeah, so no,
Anyways,
that was not a chupacabra. Chupacabras are not cute.
okay, well, that's what I envisioned a chupacabra as.
Okay. Well, keep envisioning it that way because that's at least cute.
Okay.
Um, Others say it looks more dog-like, and that's you generally in the southwestern United States. But people do say that it tends to stand and it will hop in manners similar to like a kangaroo.
Ew.
It is also a lot of times described as like a strange breed of a wild dog. Another one when they do describe it as a wild dog, it generally has a pronounced spinal ridge, pronounced eye sockets, fangs, and claws, and is mostly hairless.
Ew.
A lot of people say that you could see some creature like a dog or a coyote or like a bear with extreme mange, and that could also be like what people mistake a chupacabra for.
Wow.
The chupacabra is said to drain all of the animal's blood and sometimes its organs through three downward pointing triangular shaped holes, but sometimes there's only one or two. So it just depends on what flavor of chupacabra you're having.
I don't like that.
um, and most reports, like I said, have been in Puerto Rico, but they have had reports as far as Maine and as far south as Chile, and even outside the Americas in countries such as Russia and the Philippines since 1970. All of the reports are generally dismissed as unsubstantiated or lacking evidence, but I mean, like, what cryptid isn't?
Yeah.
And again, some kind of like wolves or coyotes or stuff like that with mange was confirmed in northern Mexico and the United States, where they're like, well, that's what people saw, but that doesn't explain all of them. Um, in 1975, there was a series of livestock killings in a small town of Mocha, and they were blamed on the El Vampiro de Mocha, or the Vampire of Mocha.
Ooh, good pronunciation.
Thanks. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school.
I love that for you.
Initially, it was suspected that the killings were carried out by a satanic cult.
Oh.
However, more killings were later reported throughout the island, and many farms reported animal losses. Each of the animals' bodies were said to have been bled dry through a series of small circular incisions. So, this is kind of where that legend of the chupacabra came about. In March of 1995, the first reported attack attributed to actual chupacabras occurred. This is where they actually said, "Oh, it was a chupacabra." In Puerto Rico, 8 sheep were discovered dead, each with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area, and reportedly completely drained of blood.
Wow.
And a few months later, in August, Madeline Tolentino, an eyewitness, said that she saw the chupacabra do this. And so this was the first case where they actually had someone that saw a chupacabra doing this.
Oh.
Silverio Perez, a Puerto Rican comedian and entrepreneur, is credited with coming up with the term Chupacabra shortly after the first incidents were reported in the press. Other countries, including Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the United States, reported animal deaths shortly after the first reported incidents in Puerto Rico. They all reported similar, where the blood was drained and all that kind of stuff. And more recently, there are numerous
Okay.
there are numerous reports of suspected chupacabras in India between October and December of 2018.
Oh, wow. That is really like soon.
Yeah. Many
Not soon, but like very
recent.
Yeah, thank you.
Recent, yeah. Many domestic animals and chickens were killed in a suspicious manner, similar to the previous chupacabra attacks. And several people claim to have seen the chupacabra. However, after studying the remains of the corpse, forensic experts concluded that street dogs were responsible, blah, 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 but it was probably a chupacabra. And in October of 2019, Mundo Ovni posted a video of the alleged attack on chickens in the sector of Lars, Puerto Rico, which I'm probably saying incorrectly, but so there's like all these ones, it's starting out in Puerto Rico, it's going all through the Americas, and now it's over in India. So very interesting. But I do have a story by Gentleman Bastard about a encounter with a chupacabra.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to start the story by providing the bona fides of the man who shared the experience with me. He's a chief warrant officer with 30 years in the Navy and a hunter since he was 12. He's seen the world, been in combat, and spent more time in the woods than I've been alive. What I'm trying to say is he's a salty motherfucker who doesn't scare easy.
It's a good description.
Anyway, I met Bill, and that's in quotation marks, so I don't think Bill's his real name, through my father, who was also in the Navy, and got to talking about how I go hunting wild pigs on my uncle's dairy farm just south of Jacksonville, Florida. We generally go out in pairs at night, one person manning a 2 million candlelight spotlight, the other man the shooter. We roam the cornfields until we hear animals rustling around, hit the spotlight, bang, 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 rinse, repeat. Ugh, it's awful. So one relatively cold January night, we get a group together for some good old hog shooting. Bill and I go out to a field where we saw some fresh tracks earlier in the day and camp out. There was no moon out and it was a bit cloudy, so it was dark as you could get in Florida. Perfect conditions to see some pigs. Sure enough, we hear some rustling and grunting, and Bill hits the spotlight, revealing 5 decent-sized pigs. I raise my Marlin lever action 30-30 and fire at the lead pig and down him with a shot behind the ear. Oh, one of the better shots I've made, to be honest. Smoke from the muzzle briefly obscures my view, but Bill yells out their location and tracks them with the light. I get off about 3 blind shots and hope for the best, but they go high. The pigs take off directly away from us and get to the tree line, so Bill and I stand there surveying the scene, ears ringing, adrenaline pumping. We see the downed pig, share a fist bump, and laugh and start walking towards it. As soon as we take a step, we hear a scream from behind us. A long, ragged, angry scream.
Oh, that's not a pleasant sound.
No, it was loud and it was close. I freeze and look at Bill, but he's looking back at me with the same look of confusion and fear. I ask him, "What the fuck was that?" He replies, "Fuck." He shines the light behind us slowly, scanning the open field and the trees beyond, and we see nothing. He starts to say something when we hear the scream again, closer, louder, and longer. If you want to know what it sounded like, next time you go to a football game or a concert, you might scream and holler and wind up losing your voice. When you wake up feeling hoarse and raspy, scream as loud as you can for 5 seconds. That's what it sounded like. Bill immediately says, "Give me your pistol. We need to get out of here." I hand him my 45. What about the pig? Fuck the pig. Now we're about a mile away from the car on a 1,000-acre dairy farm with some kind of demon bitching at us at 2 a.m. in the pitch black. We start to panic. What begins as a brisk walk away, carefully scanning the 360, turns into a steady shuffle, into a light jog, into a full-out sprint. I don't remember if there were any more screams, but my adrenaline was turned up to 11 and my focus was on 2 steps ahead of me and not getting left behind. We make it back to the truck without incident and hightail it back to my uncle's house. On the ride home, we have a calm discussion about what just happened. The fucking fuck was that?
That's so calm.
I don't fucking know. No fucking way was that a hog. It sure fucking wasn't. To cap it all off, we get back to my uncle's house, and the other guys had heard the shots and were waiting for an update standing around the bonfire. To his credit, Bill played off cool as I had a death grip on my beer, eyes bulging, and seen monsters in every shadow. Yeah, we left the pig out there. We'll get him in the morning. Say, Uncle, we heard a pretty funny noise. Sounded pretty funny. Oh, did ya? Yeah, raccoons can make some pretty interesting ones. I'm sure this wasn't a raccoon. It sounded kind of like a person screaming. Oh, that? Yeah, I've heard that a few times. We don't know what it is. We call it the Chupacabra. And that was that. Been out there many times after and thank the Lord I've never encountered it again, but I'll be fucked if I didn't think about it constantly when I'm out there.
Oh.
The end.
Ew.
I
That would be
know.
so horrifying.
Yeah. And while I was doing my research, I saw a couple pictures that people took of supposed chupacabras. And one of it just kind of looked like a dog standing up, but like more if like a person had on like a dog costume. So I don't know if I really believed that one, but some of them were pretty creepy looking.
Yeah, I don't enjoy any of that.
Yeah, none of that sounds fun. I'll stick to my little kitty chupacabra on the back of my seat here. She's pretty cute.
Right? Or the little Chupapira, whatever.
Yeah.
From Encanto.
Yeah, those ones are cute.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
Horrible story. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks so much. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you
Oh,
doing
thanks.
that for me. Um, yeah, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, are we ready for my story?
Yeah, let's hear all about King Tit.
We're gonna hear about the guy that discovered him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And if I feel like I want to, maybe I'll do a story on King Tit one day.
Ooh.
So I used All That's Interesting, obviously, and The Guardian.
Ooh.
So Howard Carter was born on May 9th, 1874 in London, and he showed a strong interest in Egyptian culture, history, and art at a very young age. The art is very important to remember.
Okay.
Carter's father was an artist who pushed his son to express himself creatively. Despite the family's limited circumstances and level of education, Carter had a deep interest for the ancient arts. This is funny. Diddlington Hall.
That's the name.
Yeah, Diddlington Hall.
Oh no.
The Amherst family's mansion was located across the street from the Carter household. Lord Amherst was a patron of Howard's father, Samuel, who shared Lord Amherst's enthusiasm for antiquities. He frequently welcomed the young Howard Carter to Diddlington Hall, where he held a sizable collection of Egyptian artifacts. The Amherst family eventually became aware of the young man's intense interest in their collection and made an offer to assist him in advancing his career. So jealous.
Yeah.
When he was only 17 years old, he visited the Egyptian burial site of Beni Hassan with a friend from the Amherst family. Oh, sorry, the Egyptian burial site at Beni Hassan.
Burial.
Anyways, whatever. Shut up. He made detailed notes of the elaborate artwork that were found on the tomb walls while there, wowing the excavation team with his creative thinking and attention to detail. He used no stencils, graphs, or tools. Everything of his own work was done by hand, which made it especially puzzling. Carter soon received invitations from important scholars to work as an artist at significant ancient sites, and as a result, he quickly developed into a fully self taught Egyptologist through his hands on experience.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
I wish it was like that nowadays.
Right?
Like, oh no, you need to have experience. Well, hire me. No, you need experience. Fuck. Okay.
And you need a stupid piece of paper that's going to cost you $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very lucky to get into both of my jobs that I've had
Yeah.
without having official education.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I got very, very lucky.
For sure.
He collaborated with groundbreaking archaeologist William Flinders Petrie at Amarna, which was the short lived capital of the pharaoh Akhenaten. At the temple of Pharaoh Hatshepsut, better known as Deir el Bahari, he snapped pictures and drew sketches.
Hmm.
He continued to impress renowned archaeologists like Petrie and Edward Navel. Howard Carter specifically for Lower Egypt, was appointed head inspector of the Egyptian Antiquities Service by the time he was 30 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, to become an archaeologist, and more specifically an Egyptologist nowadays, you are in school for at least 14 years.
Oh,
So,
do you need a PhD?
yes, you do.
Oh, wow.
Or a master's or something like that. Like,
Gotcha.
but you have to specialize in Egyptology. So,
Oh.
yep. Yeah, because I think the archaeology program is like 4 years, and then I think the other one's like 8 years.
Oh, that sounds like a PhD then.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
He made a concerted effort to uphold excavation site protections when he was in office. So good dude, sort of. He made numerous contributions to the field of archaeology, and he later discovered the already robbed tombs of several 18th dynasty monarchs and devised a grid system to map the lands of yet to be discovered tombs, which is a map that is still used today.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. However, in 1905, he was caught in the middle of a dispute between a group of French tourists and Egyptian site guards. Carter was forced to resign from his post after taking the Egyptian guards' side in the so-called Saqqara affair. He took his departure hard because he thought his finest days were behind him, and he had no idea how his entire life would change in only 3 short years. He was invited by Lord Carnarvon, a British aristocrat who was supporting the excavation of noble tombs close to Deir el-Bahari in 1907. The invitation, in Carter's opinion, couldn't have come at a better time. Carter was referred to Carnarvon by a former coworker who thought Carter's grid blocking and identification techniques could be useful for the dig. When Carnarvon was granted permission to investigate the Valley of the Kings in 1914, he had a vision and believed he would find the tombs of legendary pharaohs.
Oh.
However, World War I, in which Carter worked as a translator for British intelligence, delayed the excavation. There is a persistent story that Carter played a role in the devastation of a German fort at Luxor, despite the fact that nothing is known about his military exploits.
I wish I would have a vision that told me I had to do something important and cool.
Right? Carter finally had the opportunity to start his fateful task of digging in the Valley of Kings in 1917. So about 3 years later. The excavations in the Valley of the Kings did not quickly yield as much as Lord Carnarvon had anticipated, much to his dismay. Lord Carnarvon eventually had enough in 1922 and set Carter a deadline of a few months to discover something, or the project would be abandoned.
Oh, pressure.
Carter redoubled his efforts because he was unwilling to return to the depressed state he had experienced after leaving the Antiquities Service. He circled back to previously searched areas rather than starting on a fresh portion in order to see if anything had been overlooked. On a barren plot of land, archaeologists had built a row of houses a few months previously, but Howard Carter thought the place merited another look. He had the huts demolished and the area sealed off after clearing the bedrock beneath them.
I'm surprised they let him do that.
Yeah. Well, the archaeologists had built the houses, right? So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Then, on November 4th, 1922, a water boy fell into a rock crevice as laborers lifted stone.
A what?
A water boy.
What's a water boy?
I'm assuming he just gets water for everybody.
Oh, like a sports water boy?
Kinda, but I think he gets water from the well.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever they get their water from. I don't know. He was a water boy.
A water boy, okay.
Anyways, he fell into a rock crevice.
Oh.
So Carter looked around and saw that the boulder was actually the top step of a set of stairs that went down into the ground and ended at a mud-sealed doorway.
Oh.
So why this water boy was not credited for the find is beyond me.
Well, I mean, he didn't mean to find it. He just kind of fell into it.
Exactly. He fell into it. He technically discovered it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Anyways, on November 26th, Lord Carnarvon hurried to the location to supervise the doorway opening. Carter carefully opened the entryway with a chisel his grandmother had given him for his 17th birthday, as Carnarvon kept a close eye on him. He eased a candle inside and looked through the doorway after opening it slightly.
And let out all the curses.
Lord Carnarvon asked him if he saw anything, and he said yes, wonderful things. Because he could spy gold fixtures inside the tomb, even just with the candlelight. Howard Carter was gazing upon the intact tomb of the young King Tutankhamun.
Can you imagine, like, what he was feeling at that time?
Oh, I would have been shitting myself.
Right?
And crying.
Yeah, I mean, this is like your life's work, your life's dream, and here you are.
Yeah. And it was the most intact and well-preserved tomb that was ever discovered.
Wow.
Although the tomb had been broken open at least twice since the boy king passed away, no one had done so for generations. The two outside chambers of the tomb were open and almost certainly robbed, while the two inside chambers were still sealed. The tomb was a magnificent discovery despite the earlier grave robberies. The marvels of ancient Egypt were exhumed from its doors over the course of the following 10 years by Howard Carter.
Wow.
And Lord Carnarvon, who then sent them out to be preserved and put on display for the general public. Carter encountered professional obstacles, many of which resulted from his beliefs about who should have authority over the dig site. Ultimately, he maintained control of the location until his passing, and the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb catapulted him to renown. Carter eventually gave up archaeology and started visiting museums and giving seminars. He is credited with starting American Egyptomania and famously visited the Cleveland and Detroit Institutes of Art in the United States.
Ooh.
In order to share his expertise with future generations, he wrote books on Egyptology while he wasn't traveling or lecturing. He passed away from Hodgkin's lymphoma lymphoma, cheapers, in 1939 when he was just 64 years old.
Oh, that's not that old.
And it wasn't from a legendary curse.
That we know of.
Took a long time for that curse to take hold.
It was a slow moving curse.
His gravestone features the following writing, which was discovered on a chalice known as the wishing cup in the boy king's tomb. Quote, "May your spirit live, may you spend millions of years, you who love Thebes, sitting with your face to the north wind, your eyes beholding happiness. O night, spread thy wings over me as the imperishable stars." Unquote.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that so nice?
Yeah.
So that's part one.
Oh, it's a two-parter.
Not really.
Oh.
It's a two-parter within this episode
Oh, okay.
because there's breaking news
Oh.
from like August of this year.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, he was accused of stealing artifacts.
Oh, no.
And apparently, we now have proof.
Oh, no.
This proof was found in a letter to him from a renowned British scholar who was a member of his own excavation team in 1934. Sir Alan Gardner, who was a renowned philologist. Do you know what a philologist is?
I do not.
Studies the history of languages.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't study the history of fills.
No.
Okay.
But he was the one that wrote this letter. Carter had enlisted Gardner to translate hieroglyphs discovered in the 3,300-year-old tomb and had later given him a whim amulet. It's spelled WHM. And when I went to go look up the pronunciation, every single pronunciation just said WHM.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with whim amulet.
Okay.
Which was used to make offerings to the dead, assuring him that it had not come from King Tut's tomb. Rex Engelbach, the Egyptian Museum's then British director, was horrified when Gardner presented him with the amulet and informed him that it had indeed come from the tomb because it matched other specimens created from the same mold.
Oh.
Suspicions about Carter helping himself to treasures have long been rumored, but wow, there's no doubt about it. Or sorry, but now there's no doubt about it.
But wow, there's no doubt about it.
Carter's assertion that the items in the tomb had been robbed in ancient times has been disputed by several Egyptologists. Alfred Lucas, one of Carter's subordinates, said that Carter covertly busted open the door to the burial chamber himself before seeming to reseal it and bury the opening. They were suspected of having broken into the tomb before its official opening, taking out artifacts, including jewelry, sold after their respective deaths.
Oh.
It's been known that Carter somehow had items, and people have suspected that he might have helped himself, but these letters are dead proof.
Oh, no.
I have a big long quote.
Okay.
He never admitted to it. We don't have any official denial, but he was locked out of the tomb for a while by the Egyptian government. There was a lot of bad feelings, and they thought he was stealing stuff. The Egyptian authorities had entered and inspected tomb number 4, which Carter and the team had used for storage of antiquities, and discovered a beautiful life-size wooden head of Tutankhamun as a youth. It had been packed in a Fortnum and Mason crate, but it had never been mentioned in Carter's records of the finds, nor in the volume describing the contents of the antechamber. Carter argued that it had simply been discovered in the rubble in the descending passage. Later, we do find objects on the Egyptian antiquities market from his estate that clearly came from the tomb.
Oh, why'd you do that, sir?
Yeah, like not good.
No.
The correspondence's importance lies in the fact that the claim was made by a renowned specialist who actually participated in the initial excavation. So basically, now items are being returned to Egypt from different museums because the items are undoubtedly from King Tut's tomb.
Oh gosh. Well, at least they're getting returned.
Exactly. I'm glad that it's finally years later, but I think there's like this joke that the British steal a lot of antiquities.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's I'm glad things are being returned. Um, it sucks that he was stealing stuff.
Yeah, especially because he became so renowned and like
He
respected
worked
in his
so
industry.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The same thing happened with Zahi Hawass. He's he was basically the Howard Carter of modern Egyptology.
Okay.
And I think he also had stolen artifacts.
Well, what the hell, guys?
Um, I could be wrong, but something happened and he was also fired from his post. So, yeah, I think he's finally like doing archaeology again, but like,
Nobody
come on.
trusts him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be a hard thing to come back from.
Yeah.
Like people,
Yeah.
I mean, once you lose trust, like it's hard to get that back.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Anyways,
what a downer to a great story.
I'm sorry. Yeah. There you go.
All
Anyways, it's all done.
right. Well, shame on him.
Yeah.
Shame, shame.
I do have some jokes.
Oh, good. Let me hear them.
Okay, they're really bad.
Like
Like,
naughty or like just like bad?
no, like good, bad. They're Egyptian jokes.
Okay.
Crocodiles don't believe in rivers. They're in denial.
Bah.
What's a mummy's favorite music?
I don't know what.
Rap.
I should have got that.
I just got a job as an Egyptian god.
Oh,
Now I'm set for life. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
That's a real bad joke.
Now I'm set. Is there an Egyptian god called Set?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because I was just thinking SETI, but yeah, no, that was it could be set. Yep, sept. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Yep, 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 yep. So now it makes sense. We're good. Oh my God. Okay, two more. Why was the mummy upset about his tomb building business?
I don't know why.
He found out it was a pyramid scheme.
Ah, I like that one. That's a good one.
And then, what do you call an Egyptian doctor?
uh, a rap doctor.
A chiropractor.
Ah, I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Oh, well, if you want more of us lovely ladies and humor like that, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. However, this episode will not be on YouTube because my camera is broken and I need to get a new one.
Aww.
And I just learned that it was broken tonight. So,
and if you would like to rate and review us, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if anybody wants to help us with our social media, please reach out at historiesandmysteries515@gmail.com.
yeah, we would love that. And as always, thanks for listening. And we look forward to bringing you 2 new stories next week.